So, good morning, all of you.
Good
Uh,
morning.
I am Bibhuti Bikramaditya, chairman of the society called BBrains Development Society. We are organizing this conference, Bihar Science Conference, since 2008. And I remember in the 2008 also, we had a theme called Innovation and Enterprise Creation. And in that theme, the write-up was written by Dr. Ajay, who is also present here from Colorado State University. So that innovation, after 10 years, he also still exists, and it will be, uh, I think, forever in India, because we have not started yet the same ecosystem which will start 10 years before in Bihar. So in the beginning, I'll introduce everyone on the panelist. So I would like to say that uh, agenda of this panel, a startup ecosystem in Bihar. This is the agenda, and the state like Bihar, where the startup, many 90-80% people doesn't know how to start the company, how to do the work, and so I feel there are four major problems in any startups. First is prototyping. They don't know how to do R&D and how to make a prototype. Second is the after making prototype, how it can be manufactured in wherever we want, and who will be funding for manufacturing. And the fourth one is after manufacturing, if you make a product, then how will the market it? I think these are the general problems for all over the world. Step by step problems is there, but I think in Bihar we are still at the prototyping level. There are very few companies who are coming for the manufacturing. They reach on the manufacturing stage. Okay, so I will not take much time on this. I told you the agenda. So first presentation will be held. I will first, before starting presentation, I will tell you the name of the panelist. We have Dr. Bipin Kumar. Dr. Bipin Kumar is the director and CEO of National Innovation Foundation. He has been associated with the several innovation in India, and the National Innovation Foundation. I know Professor Anil Kumar, sir, came in the third Bihar Science Conference in Gaya, where Dr. Kalam also were present, and we all are familiar with Anil Kumar, sir. Second panelist is Dr. Ajay Kumar Jha. Ajay Jha ji is earlier he was a professor in agri-biotechnology in Colorado State University. Now he started his own startup ecosystem in USA. That's called is IGatt and Innovation Foundation. So he's having around 30 to 35 companies in his under his umbrella, and he's dealing in many countries, including India. He that five companies he has associated with his ecosystem from Bihar also. So the third panelist is Sri Vijay Prakash sir. Vijay Prakash sir was a senior IAS from Bihar. He was the chairman of State Innovation Council from government of Bihar. Now, after retiring from the state government, he started his own setup called Atal Incubation Center under NITI Ayog, Government of India. He is also the chairman director of the Bihar Vidyapit, running several courses in Bihar. Bihar Vidyapit Vidya is started by perhaps Professor long back in 1950s. He will correct me, Vijay sir. Fourth one is Sri Ajit Kumar ji. Ajit Kumar ji having his own organization called He's giving khushi to all grams. So he's having many ideas, and he's associated with us since many years, since 10 years. So after welcoming all of you, all the panelists, I would like now refer to Dr. Bipin sir to start his presentation. Sir Bipin sir.
Thank you very much, Bibhuti ji. I'm seeing lots of eminent people here. Let me share my presentation. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Video call.
It's
It's okay now?
just a minute. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, are you seeing my presentation here on your screen?
No.
It is not there. Just a moment. Just a moment. Have you given me the right to make the presentation or? Now is it there?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Your presentation is not
Yes.
here. Can you
My
please share?
No,
No, presentation is now it's being shown. It's being shown.
Okay. So now my presentation is there on your screen. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my views with this great audience. And I have been assigned to speak on entrepreneurship development through innovations. In my presentation today, I'll share that how the innovation can be the enabler for entrepreneurship development. So before moving ahead, in fact, we have to understand very clearly that how innovations are important for businesses and entrepreneurship development. Conventional, and we have to move from the conventional approach by aligning innovation to the business to the present day approach of innovation of the businesses. You see, Vibhuti ji has mentioned, that there are lots of challenges, whether it is for the product development or taking it to the market. But innovations are not limited to that. Innovations are there in the, services. Innovations are there in the processes, and innovations are there in the, in the market strategies. Who are those companies, in fact, which are on the top of the innovation, and what exactly they did to remain on the top? A study of Boston Consulting Group is a very prestigious group. In fact, Apple is on the top. We all are, aware that Apple is doing good. That's why they're, they have reached up to 2 trillion. So what they did, whether only the innovative product? No, they have done more than that. So these are the companies, in fact, which are among the top, 40. So what they did, in fact, where the innovations are there, innovations may be there in the new product, innovations may be there in the services. How to go to the market? You have to reduce the cost. You have to, make your delivery fast, and your supply chain management has to be, very strong. Then only you can survive in the market. And supply chain management with low input and a better output, internal processes of the companies, where also you have to do the innovations, business models, and how innovations can be there, as an enabler. You see that analysis, a good analytics lead the business to the new height. And the advanced analysis, if we could be able to do the market and the product, then only we can achieve what we want to achieve. In fact, technological platform, today you are seeing that we are meeting, we have not traveled, we have not spent money. But even though what views I have, I am reaching to you, it is because of technology. And for the businesses also, the conventional way is is the past, and we have to think the innovative ways today, and we have to take the help of the technological platform. Digital, you cannot avoid digital today, whether you are in a rural area or you are in tribal area, you are in urban areas. So digital design has to be the part of your venture, and the mobile capabilities. So where the innovations are happening in different companies, and how innovations are the enabler, I think you will get the sense, in a global context, how the innovations contributed to the entrepreneurship. Some examples. You see this one example, in fact, everybody of us are aware, particularly the Vijoy ji or, uh, Ajit ji. So, and all the people, in fact. So, market capitalization of Apple is, 2 trillion. In fact, the companies throughout the world are just dreaming that they could be there in the trillion group. But very fast these companies has reached because of their innovative products, because of their innovative services, because of their innovative technologies, and they're providing this alone company is providing employment to 1,37,000 people. And the product, that iPhone, iPad, iPod, Mac, but they are advanced than other companies, then only they're surviving. Another, you see, the Google. Without Google, I think we people are handicapped. But Google, how it started, in fact, it was a final year project of the students. And from there, it has reached to a market capitalization of 1.23 trillion, providing job opportunity to 1,14,000 employees. And today, the most powerful communication channels, whether it is, the search engines in, anywhere, are the recipe of this company. And without this company, in fact, probably no business, no academic, no science can move ahead, actually. So they have become so powerful, and we have to go in detail, in fact, how they have become so the leader of their thing. Then only we can follow the right path. Facebook, Facebook, many other companies also started, but by far Facebook is only company which is a most strong communication channel. Whether it is the social media, whether it is WhatsApp, that every phone is having almost every phone in the India is having the WhatsApp, Instagram, and the Facebook. They are their product. Amazon, a wonderful, in fact, at that time when it started, lots of venture capitalists, in fact, didn't, recognize the potential of this company. And because of that, they regretted, they have refused to fund in this company. And still, lots of people are having regret why at initial stage they have not supported this venture. But what they did, in fact, apart from Amazon, other people are also there. But on time delivery, connecting the consumer to the to the vendors, on time payments. And one more thing, what they did is no question policy. If you want to return your product, they will not come and say that why you are returning. No, it is a no question policy, and this light the people, and that's why they have become the leader. It is not only in e-commerce but in cloud computing also today. So in global context, we have seen that how innovations are contributing to the entrepreneurship, but the entrepreneurships are contributing to the livelihood. So overall, you can say the innovations are at this time contributing to the livelihood directly or indirectly. And if we want to increase the farmer's income, I'm not saying that double the farmer's income. Why double? In fact, you can triple, you can do more than that, actually. Then the mantra is in situ value addition. In situ value addition also involve lots of innovations, because you have to sell the products on time so that the money could be received by the farmers. So for everywhere, in fact, innovations are required. It is not only in technology but in other things. Let us see the scenario of Bihar, where Bihar stand, and what are our challenges and what are our opportunities. In India, one thing is, there that we have enormous challenges, we have enormous, opportunities. You name the problem, we do have. You name the opportunity, we do have. And similarly, the Bihar, in true sense, represent the India, where large number of people are there. The low income is also there. People are intelligent. Lots of resources are also there. So why these states cannot be the innovative, and probably they will be the most innovative states of the future. At this time, if you see that, this is the statement what Mr. Piyush Goyal has given in the state in the Lok Sabha in response to the question of Mr. Shashi Tharoor, that till March, till Feb end, 28,979 startups were recognized in India, and out of them, 374 were there from Bihar. Very few number, in fact, no issue. And we got some data that out of those 374, 363 itself, provided the job to 3,393 people. So it's a beginning, in fact, it's a beginning, but you see that it is not 300 or 374. At the state portal, approximately 10,735, startups are registered. The policy was there in 1718, and in the same year, in fact, 4,556 startups were registered. Second year was not so appreciable, but in third year, we found that 24 jump in the registration of startups were there. This year might be a turbulence because of this pandemic, but no worry, no worry. One thing is established, that we got the meaning of a startup, we got the importance of the startups, and we also realize that how startups can contribute to the economy of the state and generate the employment for our people at our place. See, I try to find out, in fact, who are the startups from Bihar. Interestingly, many good startups we got, and their names are very catchy. In fact, Madad, Milega Job Service, Nach Baja, online check bhejo, So these kind of their names are catchy, in fact, and might be people will accept. So you have to see the culture of the state. You have to see the culture of the people, and if it is linked with that culture, then probably the acceptance in the society will be better. So people are thinking creatively. In fact, as the names are reflecting, and might be more and more people will be there to support their businesses. People will get inspired, and large number of people will also have their own startups, and tomorrow they will be the job provider, not the job seeker. Students level, in fact, at National Innovation Foundation, we are catering the need, in terms of incubation of innovative technology, maybe the innovative technology from the school students or the grassroots innovations. For school students, at this time, we do have the biggest program of the country, Inspire Award Monarchs, where we are providing, financial support to 1 lakh students, financial support of 10,000 rupees to 1 lakh students. And then they go to district level, they go to state level, and finally we, give further support to 1,000 students, 50,000 each, and 60 get incubated completely. So that is a funnel. I found that, the kids from Bihar are contributing in that scheme. Shalini, in fact, from a very humble family, Shalini Kumari, when she was in class 8th, she saw a problem of her father, in fact, a grandfather, that he has a walker and he was unable to climb on the stairs because of the limitation of that walker. She said that if the legs are adjustable, then why not my grandfather, climb upstairs and, meet other members of the family. We can have food together, because the in a two-story building. In fact, the other family was living on the first floor, and the grandfather was living at the ground floor. So that was the pain of that girl. What she realized, and she given the innovation idea, and then it is our responsibility, Vibhuti ji, that we have to add value to those innovative ideas. We put designers and engineers in that, and finally the walker is ready, and tomorrow it is available everywhere. In fact, on Amazon also, it is available, and Shalini is getting royalty out of the sale of that. And Visco, which is the largest company of this kind of devices in the country, has commercialized that technology. So you can see that the huge potentials are there, but the platforms are required to convert those potentials into the products for masses. And it is not that conversion, you have to motivate to the innovators, and for that we have this biennial award function where the president of India give award to the grassroots innovators, and every time the people from Bihar, in fact they are so innovative, are receiving the awards. In fact, I have not remember even a single award function when one award has not gone to the Bihar state. So that is the potential of that state. In fact, here also, festival of innovation and entrepreneurship we organize to motivate to the the people, and give a message that this country doesn't only support the innovations, but we care the innovators also. And here also you see this guy is from Bihar, in fact, who has developed a food processing device. So let us see that what are the strength of our state. In fact, we have forest, we have mineral production, we have water bodies, we have tourism. So what else you require? In fact, biological resources are there, good biodiversity is there, the water is there, the minerals are there, tourism is there. Only thing we have to organize it in a more innovative way. Then the opportunities are high. At this time, if you see that 8.6% population, but the total enterprise, small or teeny or whatever, is 5.4% of total enterprise. So we are lagging behind. But in certain area like the tourism, the foreign tourism, here I'm talking about the foreign tourism, the growth was 7.1% in 2017, the latest data available. 7% growth was there in the fisheries, and 2013-14 to 17-18, 28% for 0.4 growth was there in the milk production. So these are some areas where we can do it better. So since we do have the opportunities, we do have the resources, we are different than what other country is doing. We need not to follow the same model. It is not that we also want the aggregator kind of startups. Fine, Bangalore will do it, Pune will do it, Ahmedabad will do it. But what Bihar can contribute, I can say with full confidence that Bihar can reduce India's dependency on aggregator kind of startups and diversify the portfolio of India's startup offerings. So this is my message, in fact, for today's meeting. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my views. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Bipin sir. Uh, I came to know many things from your presentation, where Bihar is doing good, and which area Bihar can go further. I would like to discuss later on in the discussion. I have pointed out your presentation. Now we start with Professor A.K. Jha, Ajay Kumar Jha. The time in USA is, I think, little late, maybe 12 o'clock around. So I will be telling him. He requested my he gave my he gave consent. I give thanks to him. So Ajay Jha ji, please start now your presentation. We are already late.
Thank you. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, we are able to see.
Can you see my presentation? Is it clear? Hello.
It's okay, sir. Okay, it's clear.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Bibhuti ji. It is a long time associated with BBrains and Science Congress. It is too late in the US part. We are 11 p.m. in the night, but glad to be part in the Bihar journey. So and very non-face Vijay Prakash ji and other people, and Bipin also, because Professor Anil Gupta is a good friend for a long time. So I'll just go in three story in my life. Okay, I came from Bihar, my early studies. So I have a lot of things which is inculcate in me is from Bihar. So I always say that there are three phases of anything to do, whether you do in a business, in normal life, it's the incubation, innovation, and launch. Like the child born and they go to studies and then they have a real life. So business is also like the same thing. So my thought process about the Bihar startup ecosystem is that we are in Colorado, so Colorado in the US, Colorado to Bihar C to B, and Bihar to Colorado B to C. So we are looking for both. Whatever we have a knowledge and technology and method we can supply from here to Bihar, and some of the best know-how and management and the brains, because Bihar brain is here, is from Bihar to bring it here in terms of the product and as well as the company. So we looking at how viability can be done. And when we talk about incubation, we talk about what Bibhuti ji was telling, and also I heard from National Innovation Foundation that prototype and R&D is one of the things which requires a lot of know-how and management, and also the talents which can work, and access to finance and access to market, and then kind of a mentoring network and ecosystem to create. Bihar is early on. I think the percentage, what I have seen, it was very low, but there is a lot of challenges in Bihar. Of course, the better brain behind the entire Indian system is working from the Bihar bureaucracy, but somehow we need to now bring that force together where we can bring Bihar in different side. So I do normally. This is my journey from Colorado State University. I started three centers there. One is the Institute of Global Ag and Technology Transfer, which we run around $50 million of the grants for different agriculture venture. But we had also INOP, which is innovation and entrepreneurship. And then we took also Youth Lab, which is basically an educational platform. So these are the three story I carried along with me, and wherever I go, I started this journey of enterprise myself. And after 15 years serving in university, realized that this is the time to do some real work. So I started the venture journey. So we have a shared workspace, a startup cluster, R&D setup where the product development, because we are connected with different commercial R&D. So we work on agriculture technology, bioventure, renewable energy, Internet of Things, which is a e-commerce platform, but also big data. These are the five sector, which is a very close heart connected with my skill set, but also the skill set which we are connected throughout the world. So Bihar can take advantage of all this cluster where we are already here. So three sectors through Institute of Global Ag and Technology Transfer we work. We work always the innovation, which is a basically suitable way of innovation, sustainable way of taking those technology and then scale it wherever it is start and going into the next section. So we look at the food, water, energy nexus in this platform, and where we look at the energy efficiency, water efficiency, food and nutrition side. So we look at this, and the problem is unlimited. Feeding 9 billion is a challenge. We have limited water, land. Climate is always a big issue, and all over the world, this is a big thought process that we have to make sure that we don't damage. Urbanization, healthy lifestyle is the name of the game after the COVID. And then the whole thing which is happening in India also about the farmer unrest, about the food distribution, branding, export market, healthful and nutritional diverse food. I think this is the way to do a 5x or 10x for the farmers. Most of the university system work on education, research, but they don't do a better engagement in enterprise development. Still, our land grant philosophy work on education, outreach, and research, but the enterprise is the main asset of any university and commercial organization. So we are coming to that phase because of the innovation and startup. US has that, and I work in Israel also. So a startup nation, my journey is over the years, last 20 years, working Israel, US, and India, where we are looking at basically the innovation at everything what we do, whether we do in the classroom, and after the e-commerce platform and the COVID came, so we are all interconnected and interdependent network we have. We have a multidisciplinary team worldwide we work. So this is a ag tech incubator hub. We look at also the food security part, research and education part, commercialization of those, and then looking at the economic development where the workforce development has to happen, and also the new business has to happen. So we look at the entire farm to market solution, and on the solution way, we find the startup journey. We do entire thing filled level of demonstration because where we can show the farmer in the startup industry, but also getting it to the marketplace where we go in a normal way. So this is one of the place where we have done the entire country R&D development, where packaging of the system, sweet corn, tomato, cherry tomato, and different kind of technology to deliver just on the farm itself. So this is a kind of know-how and management which we work under IGatt, but also low technology and the big impact, whether it is a tunnel, whether it is a trellis system, whether it is a small nursery to create, or a small kitchen garden you do, or bucket drip irrigation, a small tractor to use. These are all proficient technology. If we look at really in the village level, this is a very important perspective we do. We look at the entire global food system when we design anything so that we understand the practice from the science perspective, the governance and policy perspective, but also the food security and the chain, how it can work. So any design of the new innovation and technology, we look at a holistic perspective where people design in terms of the market driven as well as what is a kind of a gap or the problem we need to solve, whether it is transportation of the food, how it can be much more fresh and it can transport a longer distance. And then we have another also the regional innovation food system where we work from a small garden up to a very high-tech garden. So we have all kind of outdoor and indoor technology, because without a soil also and without a land also, we can have an agriculture system in the future. Because the 9 billion people, we have to feed everybody possible. We look at also intensification of ag, nutrition, health, and increasing the 5x income. So this is a platform which is basically is a Bihar sensitive, because Bihar has also a lot of agriculture arena. There is a lot of specific system, but we also do a lot of small system, whether a window garden, we do also mobile garden, we do multiple, which is basically more like a industry park for the food we can develop. So these are all system is in our innovation lab. We have also a cook stove where you can see the lighting and cooking and also heating in a house we can produce. This was my first innovation, which was an MBA program. But later on Ag Innovation Lab, we have created all these indoor where you can do in your kitchen inside your house, but also in porch you can grow all these kind of crops. We have a next level of a journey is basically working with solar and solar panel to be used in greenhouses, and a different system we are working where we can have a grid electricity, but also the same time agriculture production. This is going to be more commercialized as an ecosystem for the state to efficiently do. So we look at the organic side of a production because this is a higher value and tastier, healthier, and sustainable. But also we look at the technology, which is a precision farming, a precision irrigation, looking at also low input, and then all kind of a system from artificial intelligence, robot, and data science connected to agriculture and the sensor we work. So these are all system Bihar can also use, and we have an entire system. So this is a typically a more participatory, adaptive, and integrated value chain network. Wherever we start, we wanted to make sure that it has an end result. So input to service to consumer, we design everything that way. So even we look at typically any approach, we making sure that there is a farmer to market value chain, whether it is going in a scooter or a bike or a motor car, it doesn't matter. But it increase the 10 times the farm income, diversify. So that integration is a very important. And then what we do is a value added and processing of the product and development, making sure that we have a multiple product. So this is a one project which we are doing with resilient provision. We are giving hundreds of different industry to build their each one product, and then we bundle like Amazon and then supply it to people's house through e-commerce platform, so that the same kind of a model can be established in Bihar, because numbers are very not up to the marks. We can do a various kind of a product, which is agriculture product is the land. One more stuff we are doing is a youth lab, where the youth lab engages entrepreneur. So we provide education also, because we think that the future of innovation is basically by providing a right kind of a knowledge and toolkit early on, showing them where the R&D is, where the innovation happen, and how the business market works. So the collaboration happen between the student, their project based learning also we provide. So early on the industry to connect. So from the high school level to the college and upper level, and we look at the innovation solution where the student work. And this is all collaborative space which we have created. We started in India online because of the COVID, and Dr. Arora is now the director for the India program. And we are, she's a professor in Punjab University, took that lead to 5-6 places. And we are teaching everything about innovation, incubation, and exploration through typically in a business class as a business model. So we look at education, career, and entrepreneurship. These are the three programs which work very efficiently. And we also believe in good to great with Jim Collins. And we teach a student early on what you are deeply passionate about it, what are the core values, vision, and mission you have, what can be the best in the world you can do, and also unique and value contribution you do in your limited life in this earth. And what are the drivers and the resource engine you need, time, money, and brand. We all provide that support so the startup engine can grow faster. We have 5 different programs. STEM we do because we think the science, technology, engineering, and math is important toolkit to get in the entrepreneurship role, because there is a lot of toolkit you can solve the world problem. And then we look at also green globe, because the climate change and smart ag technology is a very important. Healthy lifestyle is because we want immunity to be grown, and basically everybody can look at how do we design the future of the healthy lifestyle, and making sure that design and art is also entertainment and different kind of, if you look at Steve Jobs, we have heard about Apple. It's all about design and art. Beside the science and technology, it's a design and art which has been created. And so these are our students from India, which works in different regions. They are already at 12 companies. They have established more 30 companies in the pipeline from India. We do a lot of webinar. We do various programs, and we reach out to everybody possible. These are some of the companies we have recently. So Mithila is natural from Bihar, which is a Makhana brand. And then multiple brands are coming into the company, around 30 companies, but these are one of what you call the golden angle of the future. These are all our very multi-talented, from Harvard to Stanford, from UPenn to Cornell. Everybody is a part of the team. They advise, they mentor, and they support the industry and business. This is an Institute of Global Ag team, which is a professor from all best university of US and the climate science. So the team is growing, and then Youth Lab has also the team, which is from Brown University up to UC Berkeley, and also from Stanford. These are our partner and collaborator, which we work with the chambers, with the university, with the city, with the state, with working on different platform, making sure that we have. We are doing a biggest cluster in the world today with the Colorado. It will be a first of its own kind, where 150 companies will work with 20 university and 30 different R&D setup. That INOP has given that responsibility to organize this. So we are pretty busy and looking forward for the future and making sure that we can contribute better in the coming days. And so look forward to help Bihar, because Bihar has a lot of possibility, but unfortunately, we are not able to do even the knowledge. We talk about Tesla, we talk about Amazon or Microsoft, including Sundar Pichai or anybody comes, they work here in the company. But we need an innovator. We need India to be in innovation mode and doing out of the box solution, not doing something which is everybody is doing, not copycat. If there is a one stuff is produced, if you are not able to give some value added, it is not a world market need. So anything happens in Bihar, even it is a landlocked, there is a lot of potential. Agriculture is a main thrust area. Education is another area. And third is basically technology can be done as R&D setup, because IIT, AIMS, and all the university exists. So there is a lot of possible things is going to happen in the future. So look forward to see that whatever the way we can help, we help Bibhuti ji to bring that Bihar Science Congress and Bihar Brains together. So look forward to help, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Ajay ji. Your presentation was focused mainly on what we are doing for the nation and what we are doing for specifically for Bihar. And the second part was some innovation like high-tech gardening. And I think we have talked about the vertical system also in that. We'll discuss on this later on in the discussion. And the third panelist now is Sri Vijay Prakash ji. He will talk about the innovation and enterprise creation. He has already started his journey in Bihar, and I think they are only, apart from the government initiative in Bihar, I think there are only private initiative in Bihar by under the umbrella of NITI Ayog. The name is Incubation. He has also some companies, 35 companies under the umbrella. So, sir, please start.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I make a presentation? Ajay ji, will you stop presenting?
Thank you. Good to see you after a long time. We get together with Jawahar Thakurji and you and me long back.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, yeah, I recall. It's
Good to
nice. We
see you.
can.
Thank you.
Is my screen visible? Bibhuti ji, is my screen visible?
No, sir. No, not visible it is yet, sir.
Not visible. No, what has happened? Now is it visible?
No, sir. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
What is happening? Just hold on.
Now started, sir.
Now started. That's great. So, good afternoon, everyone. And it was nice listening to two great speakers. And since a lot of things have been covered, I will focus more on Bihar and how Bihar, what are the scenario in Bihar and how we can take innovation forward. Let me tell you briefly about myself. I am Vijoy Prakash. I spent about 35 years in Indian Armed Service, retired in the rank of Chief Secretary. Even in government, I started Bihar Innovation Council. I was involved in the planning process for a pretty long time. I was Principal Secretary Planning. I was also associated with Agriculture, Education, Social Welfare, and many departments. Later on, after retirement, I have joined as Chairman Bihar Vidyapit, which is an organization. About 100 years ago, it was established by Mahatma Gandhi and Rajendra Prasad to impart education based on national values and to promote self-dependence, basically. In fact, Rajendra Prasad spent about 25 years here. Mahatma Gandhi used to come off and on. And in fact, it was one of the three organizations in the country, Gujarat Vidyapit, Kashi Vidyapit, and Bihar Vidyapit. They were established together. Fortunately, this also was recognized as a national university. But unfortunately, because of some reason, I won't explain here, because it was, let me tell you, because it was placed under British police continuously for 3 years in 2 spells, and that's why academic activities were discontinued and later rural development activities were undertaken. Recently, we have started academic activities again. We have developed many courses, and with the help of Arpat University and Patna University, we are running some of the courses. We have also started Atal Incubation Center here with the help of NITI Ayog, which basically aims to help the startups and entrepreneurs in their journey from idea to enterprise. We have a facility of co-working space, incubation. I will go into details of some of these things. We also provide funding. We have networking, mentoring, and seed capital assistance we provide. So coming to today's topic, that is innovation and enterprise creation. I would like to slightly differentiate between what is innovation, invention, and creativity. I mean, this we should slightly understand, then it will be easier, because most of the people here are from science. Innovation is different from invention. Innovation, let me tell you about some of the genesis part of the word innovation. Innovation was considered a very bad word earlier. Earlier, it was just a contractual renewal, which was considered to be innovation. in the religious terms, all those people who revolted, who came out with new ideas, they wanted to do new religious practices, they were called innovators. So at that point of time, who were all those people who wanted to innovate or who wanted to, who were considered innovators, they were put behind bars and even put to death. But with industrial evolution, the word came into science. And there, innovation became associated with science and new machines, new products, and government also started associating it with various research lab, patents, and things like that. So what was considered bad has now become being considered good. And from 1940s, when Joseph Schumpeter started this word, he clearly differentiated between invention and innovation. Invention was the creation of something new, that is a new product, while innovation related to the adoption of the new things, that is bringing of a new product to market. So innovation takes it to the market, invention part remains to the lab or to the creation of new things. So that is what innovation is. Innovation is basically a new, it's in the domain of engineering or product development process, and it is basically creation of you create new product. So this is, and here let me tell you, it is the invention that is patented. So once we patent the invention, because we protect our rights to go to the market. But innovation is basically taking it to the market, linking to the market, considering market into consideration. So I will differentiate. Invention may be of any type. It may be humanistic or cultural. It may be scientific, technological, including medicines, or socio-political, even including economics and law. So now invention is slightly larger domain word, and it covers many areas. Innovation is basically saying that there is a way to do things better. So let's find it. If you can find a better solution, that will be innovation, and it should be seen from the perspective of the consumer, customer, or the market. This is how I define invention plus linkage to the to social or economic value is innovation. Unless this linkage is there, innovation has no meaning. It remains invention. That's why if you put both creativity, invention, and innovation, creativity is basically a mental quality that enables you to develop new ideas. But invention is basically you create something new. That is invention. And making the invention into a product form which can be used in the market, that is innovation. So these three things should be differentiated. I'm not going into details of this, but let's have some clarity about invention and innovation. And that's why innovation has three clear stages. One is idea generation, that is related to creativity. You identify certain problems of society, then solve that problem. If you solve the problem, then it becomes an invention. Both idea generation and problem solving is part of invention. And if once you go for implementation, that part becomes innovation. So that every innovation has passed through three litmus tests. One is it has to be technically feasible, it has to be financially viable, and it has to be socially acceptable. Socially acceptable means it has to pass through legal hurdles, see whether it conforms to the local laws. It has to pass through what the culture or ethics. Just see, I mean, a simple thing I will tell you. Every problem has multiple solutions. When Ajay ji was just speaking just now, he was coming out with many solutions. Maybe some of the solutions will work here. Technically, they may be feasible, but socially, it may not be feasible. Infrastructurally, it may not be acceptable. So we have to see from the local perspective whether it is technically feasible, financially viable, where we can afford it. There are many things we cannot afford, or people cannot afford because of the low economic condition. So market will not accept a very costly thing if we want to introduce. So that also you'll have to probably keep in mind, and it has to be socially acceptable. These three litmus tests we must remember always, whatever we design, whatever invention we have, they must pass through these 3 litmus tests. And once you have one, if you can find out a thing which is both technically feasible, socially acceptable, and financially viable, then that becomes an innovation which is ready to go to the market. There are 5 essential elements for success in setting up enterprises. As I said, there have to be an idea, and obviously related to idea, there will be a product. Idea includes product here, but there has to be a team. Most of the organizations have failed because their team could not work together. Their team could not continue. So team building is one of the most important part of the whole game. Normally, when we invent in the colleges or university, we work alone or we work with a partner. But when that partnership may convert itself into a business partnership, but may not. So we'll have to see, business requires three angles. As I said, it will require some technical angle, it will require some market angle, it will also require some HR angle, and things like that. So experts in different fields you need. You may be academically good, but you need who has got better understanding of market, or who can probably take it to the market, who can take it to the production. Then production is itself a big task. Once you have a team, then you have to develop a business model. And here, business model, and then you have funding, and obviously you ought to launch it at a proper time. There are many things, like if you see, even COVID time, when the COVID started, many new products came. Even simple things like mask came in large number. But suddenly you have glut in market, and now masks are not selling at the same speed. So you have to keep in mind the timing factor also. These 5 factors have to be there. Unfortunately, the idea part is taken by the institutes and colleges. They develop they do some kind of invention, they develop some product, but team building, business modeling, funding, and time part leave aside, these 3 things, that is left for incubator to do. And here, incubation business itself is very new in India. Fortunately, we now have NITI Ayog has started about 71 incubators. They want to develop world-class business incubation system, and that's why they have they are going for several kinds of training and several kinds of prototyping. Even in incubation sector, they have developed some model, and based on that, I will be telling you. I'm leaving aside the Startup India policy, but I will just give you one important change that has come up, and that you should keep in mind. When Government of India defines startup, let's just rush through this. One is it has to be 10 years from the date of incorporation. Means whenever you are going for registration, you must not be more than 10 years old. It must be a private limited company or LLP or partnership firm. It must not exceed 100 crores in any fiscal year. And the nature of innovation, that is very crucial, that you should take note of. Developing new or improving existing product, service, or offering. Potential to, and this has been a new component has been added to it, that is potential to generate employment and create wealth. It's not only new. If any project, if any organization wants to generate employment and create wealth, that also is considered a startup. So you can have here, I will tell you how you can take help of this important addition that has been brought in here. These are the simple procedures. I won't go into it. If somebody is interested, probably we can do it later. There are several concessions available to startups that we can see, but I will come back to Bihar and see what Bihar can do. So today is World Soil Day, so it is the right time to discuss Bihar's case, particularly of agriculture, and it's a big opportunity for all the startups to work in Bihar. Let me sum up the Bihar's problem in a simple slide. Bihar's agriculture has two distinct components. In one area, if you see, we have deficient production like egg, meat, fish. Even now, although we have got good growth trajectory, but we have deficient production. So we have to import. Even you see, fish, we have so much potential, but we are not able to stop import. It is coming from outside. Even meat is coming up from outside, and egg is also coming from outside. I will talk about the egg later. And on the other hand, you have several things where we have surplus production, vegetables, fruits, even maize, now even in cereals. So, but the market linkage is poor, and we don't have any facility of lack of value addition. So all this gives a big opportunity in the agriculture sector. When I was listening to Ajay ji, I found several things that can be learned from him. And I will show you what we can do. I will go with, 4 years ago, we started a new thing, and that I would like to share. That was Bihar Self-Sufficiency Campaign. As I said, we are deficient in eggs. At that point of time, we are only 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs we were producing per day. When we started in 14-15. In 15-16, as you see, 27 lakhs per day. But in 1920, it has been up to 72 lakhs per day. How did it happen? Let me tell you one example. This is a case of Mr. Manish. Manish is from Buxar. He was working in Delhi. He met me once. He said कि हम वापस आना चाहते हैं बिहार में क्या हो सकता है. He was working in a builder company. तो I just asked कि भाई ये मुर्गी करोगे, मुर्गी में सबसे ज्यादा फायदा है. ये अंडा का ये करो. He said कि अंडा क्या होता है? I don't know कि what is egg farming or layer farming. He said come to Bihar. I said come to Bihar. We'll discuss. He came. We discussed. He was trained. He was given finance. He was given incubation services. And in 3 years, his turnover is 7.5 crores. Roughly, his profit is 1.5 crores in 3 years. He had earlier set up 11,000 birds, and later he extended a farm of again 11,000. So today he has 22,000 birds he is nursing. And about 96, about 100 such enterprises have been supported so far. This campaign, how did it happen? I mean, this is what we have to learn. I will come to that model shortly. And because of this, you see the growth of in production has gone up. Just see how this growth has gone up. And what had happened? What did we do? And here I would like to share my experience. In entire career of my in administrative service, I found that people in Bihar, they want to invest, they want to work, they want to be entrepreneur. But what is restricting them is basically an ecosystem. There is nobody to handhold them. There is no culture of entrepreneurship here. And if you want to take them to entrepreneurship, you must create an institution which can handhold them. That is a very crucial thing, which can handhold from end to end. All kinds of backward and forward linkages have to be given to them. Then only they can work. So that's why when we developed an incubation model, when this is an extension of Bihar Self-Sufficiency Campaign, this is basically, we want to bring new technologies to Bihar, which is energy efficient, which can be food efficient or water efficient, as Ajay ji was saying. So there are many things in agriculture. If it is, if the new technology can bring in more production, then let's bring it. And once we have a technology, based on that technology, develop the ecosystem for developing the enterprise. This program we called Ankuran. Here, several policy advocacy is also needs to be done. And then there is another pillar, that is commercialization of innovation. There, as I said, there are many people who are doing many good inventions, but they are not able to convert it to a commercial product. If you go to Harvard University or go to IIT, there are many products which can be commercialized, but we do not develop it from the viewpoint of commercialization. We develop it from the viewpoint of science. Here we have to make a change. This is quite crucial. In science, we just extend the theory. I'm a student of science. I know how researchers we used to do in PhD and other places. We just extend some of the theories, develop a new thing, develop a new product. But from the viewpoint of incubation, we do not try to solve the problem of the people, problem of the society, problem of the entire ecosystem. If we can probably do it, then we are ready for commercialization. For this, we have 3 programs. I will come to that. Sankarsan, just see, this is our Ankuran program where technology adaptation businesses is done. Here, we go into detail of the technology adaptation. We develop a team which can train them, we can mentor them, understand the ecosystem, and if there is some issues, there are certain issues with government, there are certain issues with the banks, there are certain issues with insurance, there are many issues involved. Those we have to tackle. Unless we tackle that, individual entrepreneur cannot do this. And this is the gap in ecosystem that prohibits them. So that's what we are trying to do here. We provide backward-forward linkages. We bring all the stakeholders on board and then try to help these people. Once this is done, that's why in Egg, if you see the example, we develop with the skill development people, we develop with the chick suppliers, or we in fact brought in board machine suppliers or case suppliers or civil engineers. Everybody brought on board. So this is quite important that this kind of ecosystem is developed and this facility is provided. From layer farming, we have gone to biofloc fish farming, commercial goat farming, organic farming, food processing, and we are moving one by one. We are taking, because it takes quite well of a time in working in one sector only. So we are working. So roughly, if you see, and from the commercialization of innovation, if you see, we have 3 programs. One is Sankarsan. Sankarsan का मतलब होता है हल चलाना, खेती करना. तो हल चलाने के पहले it's a pre-incubation activity जिसमें IGatt, hackathon and outreach programs through partner agencies. These are included. We don't do it ourselves. We do it through our partner agencies. And plus Futan is our main program, incubation course for early startups, where the entire thing is discussed. How idea is developed, how idea is validated, how the product development is done, how team building is done, how marketing has to be done, how business plan is will be developed, media, funding, etc. Everything will be taken care of. This is for early startups. But Vistaran is for specialized services for funding and marketing the matured startups. There are many startups who have small problems. They want to link to the government market. They are not able to do, or they have some problem of funding. There we help in Vistaran program. This is right now, apart from the 100 egg farms that we have developed, 151 producer enterprises we are working with in the field of egg farm, fish farming, and these fish farmers are different. Let me tell you, these fish farmers are commercial fish farmers, not the traditional fish farmers or machwara का जो था government में, उसको हम लोग we are not touching. These are commercial. They are all. Good thing is there are many people who have come back from other states. कई लोग उसमें हैं जो IIT के पढ़े हुए हैं, कई लोग हैं IIM में पढ़े हुए हैं, कई लोग अच्छे नौकरियों में हैं. In fact, Vodafone का head जो state head है, he has started a farm here. So this consists of a very well-read and motivated people who are working on this commercial farms. Goat farm also they are working. So if you see, about 251 such farms we are working with. Then we have roughly 15 startups, which now we are considering other 15 roughly who are technology based or MSME based. We have several mentors, about 19 mentors and 14 partners, and 4 labs we are setting up. And this is crucial for Bihar. Bihar, we found, as Ajay ji was saying, we don't have any packaging facility. And most of the people fail on this front. Similarly, we don't have food processing lab. We don't have social media or digital marketing lab, or even fab lab. Fab lab or maker space is required here. So we are working for fab lab and maker space also here. So that in this incubation center, we can supplement what is not available in the ecosystem in Bihar. So these four things, just now let me tell you, one of the major lacuna in Bihar's packaging, we found that we do not have any facility for food testing. We need testing of the food, particularly what is needed is their what they call critical factors of food products they want to analyze, and then the package is done. Packaging is finalized, but this is quite costly. So we have taken up with government, and when I was in government, we had started food development center in Sabor Cultural University, Bihar Cultural University Sabor, and there they have said that they will be doing this critical factor analysis. And once they start doing this, then we'll have packaging here also, and then we can probably enter into the larger market. So this is what I wanted to say. I would only sum up saying that in the schools and colleges, what I find is they are very good inventors. They have to be converted into innovators. Recently, we learned, we put them to the interaction with the people who go for do the patenting, etc. They said that you must survey the market first and find out the gaps in the market, and from the market point of view, go for the innovation. Unless we understand the market, our a project may be good in educational institute, may not be good in the market. Let's find out products which are good for market, and that will be a good innovative thing. This is what I wanted to submit to you. If you have any problem related to incubation, please do come to us at Bihar Vidyapit. We'll most welcome. If you have anything related to that, even government advocacy we do, because we understand that there are many sectors which are languishing because of the government policy advocacy. I'm not listing them out. We are talking to concerned people, even in Government of India and state government. Will try to solve it. And if you find any difficulty in that, we'll definitely help you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Bikramaditya.
Thank you, sir. In your presentation, you focused on very first. You focused on differentiation between the innovation, invention, and enterprise creation. This is good for the people who are very young, and they should understand the differentiation between the innovation, invention, and the enterprising. Next, you had talked about how the things should go on, like for the starting the business in Bihar. Like business should be financially feasible, socially acceptable, and on the timeline. He thinks you have given more stretch on this. This is very good. It's required in the market for any product to go on. And third, you said that incubators should also take responsibility in these three things, because here invention can be done, like prototyping can be done by the students or the young entrepreneurs, but they don't know how to go ahead. So incubators like you and others like Ajay ji also, so take it forward to that product or would be product. So I feel that that point you have taken up in the notice is very good. And the third or fourth point you have told that the same thing. You talked about the egg, you talked about meat and fish. These three things are good in Bihar, but still they are importing. Fifth things you talked about the vegetable, fish, and other things. Packaging that Bihar doing good. In packaging, Bihar is not doing good, but vegetable and fruit Bihar is good doing business. And I remember in the Corona times also we had very good fruit vegetables. 2 रुपए में सजबन, 2 रुपए में लौकी, है ना? So the positive point in corona in Bihar was that we had a very कम पैसे का सब्जी, like 20 रुपए की 10 लौकी मैंने खाया है, 10 लौकी 20 रुपए में, और गोभी सब, every fruits were here, vegetable were so, little price was so less. So that time we had a very good time. In if somebody is going out to market, because people were not buying, they are fearing. Those who are not fearing, we are getting very good food in Corona time. All we will come up all these things in all the now the uh, next presenter is Mr. Ajit Kumar. Ajit ji, are you online?
Yes,
Yeah,
online.
now you can start the presentation. For 20 minutes, we have fixed in all presentation. Then we can start the mutual discussion on this on the topic.
Fine. Namaskar to everyone. And Corona has taught everybody to fold their hands, as was the Indian culture. And when you talk of Indian culture, Bihar is definitely the harbinger or the source or the strongest point of Indian culture. So we can proudly say that. So nice to hear, and it's very the task becomes slightly easier when you speak after three intelligent, smart, experienced people like who have spoken before me, and fortunately I have known or heard or and met most of them. So it has been a privilege to learn a lot from them also. And starting with the first session, I'll little bit talk about the previous speakers and then move on to what I have to speak, correlating it with that is that we had been to Rashtrapati Bhavan many times for the National Innovation Awards, and we have seen many grassroots innovators. And as Vipinji rightly said, that most of them, rather many of them, were from Bihar. So they have done excellent innovations. So the problem is that very National Innovation Foundation has done wonderful work, brought in many great innovators across the country. They have, I think, documented more than few lakhs across the country. Now, how to make these innovations successful? So some examples Vipinji gave, and then Ajay ji also gave, and then Vijoy Prakash ji also gave through his large experience in the government sector, as well as now as a social, you can say social thinker and doer also. So a lot of things can be done, but as far as little bit knowledge or understanding I have, I'll like to reiterate some of the points have already been spoken, that Bihar is richest in, say, education, knowledge, education. Then second is art, culture, heritage, tourism, crafts. And then we have excellent natural resources, very biodiverse, one of the most biodiverse natural resources. So we have a lot of rivers and a lot of good soil and all these areas. So we should use this in a proper way, and we should also maintain the biodiversity, like Balmiki Nagar forest area. It has huge resource. It's a huge source of natural or ecotourism or environment tourism, you can say. So similarly, we have so many heritage sites, one of the largest in the world and one of the best also. But are we able to manage that? Are we able to develop it in a proper as proper sites, as well as develop areas around those which can lead to people staying there? Because if people come to Bihar, visit in the morning and then go back in the night, then the revenue doesn't come in that big way. So this has to be done. This is very important. So moving ahead, innovations, as Vijay Prakash ji gave described very well all the definitions of innovation, invention, and all these, and what is the correlation between all these. So Bihar actually is known as hub of innovation through ancient times. We have been hub of innovation through ancient times. We had lot of entrepreneurs, people who were thinkers, because entrepreneurship and innovation comes through thinking, deep thinking also, as well as research and development. So all these were there in Bihar. We had one of the best and oldest doctors, Shushrut was there, Dhanvantri was there, a lot of people were there. So all these modern ancient sciences were there. Unfortunately, there was a gap in between, so maybe a few hundred years or so where our civilization was not so strong, so we lost those. But there is a need to again revive that, document and revive that. Nalanda kept on burning for many days, it is said. When Nalanda was burning or destroyed, Oxford and Cambridge came after that. So we have to remember that. We have to be confident. We don't have to feel shy, or we have to feel that we don't have anything. We had everything. We still have a lot left. We still have a lot left. We need to think that, and we need to work in that direction. And the most important thing that Bihar Brains, as it said Bihar Brains, so Bihar had brains. And so the organization Bihar Brains, probably Bibhuti ji named, since Bihar had brains, so he named Bihar Brains and brought a lot of Biharis together. So we are also part of it since long time. So through Bihar Brains and through this conference, which has been quite long now, like many years, and it is the best part is many universities participate. Almost all vice chancellors are distinguished members of this board of this Bihar Science Conference. So we have a lot of synergies that can be done. Universities can be hub of not only innovation, but incubation hubs, entrepreneurship hubs, and a lot of success stories can be rolled from there. We are not doing it for last few decades because somehow all these universities went in one direction, is that just following the West. Of course, we need to follow the West wherever is required, but we also need to follow our traditional wisdom and knowledge and ancient sciences. We need to go back to that, because if we go back to that in our system, will be of course the best, and that system is required because the entire world now recognizes that sustainable development is a key challenge for the world. We are moving far we have moved too far in the wrong direction. We are totally unsustainable, our lifestyles, our systems, because we don't have resources now left to sustain ourselves. So now innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development is what I wanted to speak on, because all these are correlated. We need to innovate to see how sustainable our systems can be, how can we develop entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship system and ecosystem which can help everybody, and which can help people work together and create not only sustainable and green livelihoods in and around their villages, or maybe their small cities or towns, Mufasil towns, instead of just coming to Patna or maybe Delhi, Mumbai, and going to the US and doing wonderful things. Many people are doing wonderful things. We need to know. We need to just manage that, and we need to work in that direction. How to do is basically coming together on platforms like this, Bihar Brains, and then working on during this conference and after that conference, whatever the proceedings we develop should lead to further action and synergies and tie-ups, as has been in some of the few conferences I have been part of. So we need to do that, and we need to create good R&D centers which can help our crafts in better packaging, product design, and then as well as agriculture products. As Vijay Prakash was also saying, that we don't have good food tasting laboratory. We have one of the best food of the world. We don't have a good food test labs. So we need to have at least one lab, at least, I'm saying at least, not just one. We should have actually at least 4 or 5 labs across the various regions of Bihar, which produce different kinds of food, like makhana, and so maize is grown in the northwest districts of Bihar. Similarly, rice is grown in, say, Bhagalpur region, and also in the Mithila region, and also in the Sasaram, Bhagwa, Buxar region. So all these areas we should have hub, and we should identify the products. They can be 4 or 5 products. We need not have only one product in a district. We need to have 5, 7, 8 products, because there has to be some biodiversity for good agriculture also. As well as we should package and brand it from there, and then send not only to other places of India, but also export. There is huge potential. And if we are going to take care of these 3 areas, these 3 sectors, education, HR, training, skill development, R&D, art, culture, tourism, crafts, and third is agriculture and food processing, we can be number 1 in India within 10 years. 10 years is the maximum time, I'm saying. If you can come, all of us can come together, take use of the resources of the government as well as the natural resources, and the resources, the Bihar brain resources that we have in and around, the excellent scientists that are in US. I think Ajay ji can help us from there, getting all the Bihari and non-resident Bihari, and as well as all other Indian researchers also from the US, and connect with them. So we need to have, and we should plan district-wise, we should plan block-wise. So why don't we take a block and a district, or maybe take 5 blocks spread across the state, and look at integrated sustainable development of these 5 blocks using innovation, entrepreneurship, scientific R&D, good labs, good training and skill development centers, and then market it together. We can have a common brand also. So let's work together. Let's use this platform to take Bihar towards, say, you can say 3.0 or 4.0, where Bihar is remembered as world's not only one of the most ancient and greatest learning and all, but also in terms of sustainable business. I'm not saying business, sustainable business. Shubh Labh. Shubh Labh is sustainable. Shubh Labh means taking care of the nature, taking care of society, taking care of the people. Because all of us will only be happy if we have good nature, good trees and good environment, rivers, everything around. If these are not there, we won't be happy, because with all these polythenes flying in our face, all these chemicals around us, we won't be able to actually we won't be able to be happy as well as healthy. And health is important to be happy. And then we had very good culture of meditation, yoga, naturopathy, Ayurveda, which emerged from Bihar, which thrived in Bihar. We had excellent, wonderful people like Lord Buddha, Lord Mahavira, and lot of other people from across the faiths, various faiths. So all faiths, so multi-faiths, and also religious tourism is a key area that we have been working on since 2012, and we need to take this in a big way. I think I won't speak much. I think I have covered most of the ground. I'll tell a little bit about Khushigram. What we do is that since early childhood, we have been thinking that Bihar was great and India was great. Why is India and Bihar not great? So in our school, we had a wonderful library. I was at St. Michael's Patna in Digha Ghat. So we had a wonderful library. We had river Ganga besides us. We had a hill and we had farm also. And we had excellent good fields. So, and our teachers and principals and fathers were excellent. Our seniors were excellent. Our juniors, friends were excellent. So we got a lot to learn from them and from the library. So we read Amar Chitra Katha. We found that we were excellent, top, greatest in the world. How to revive that? So that thought came when in early 80s, and I have been thinking, and we have been working on it since school days. In college, we tried to do a lot of social work, tried to integrate and do, and we formed a lot of organizations. We worked together, and the solution came in terms of human development, which is now called as more popular as sustainable development. So Millennium Development Goals in 2019 that started in 1999 and ended in 2015. We couldn't fulfill the Millennium Development Goals. Only few countries in the world were close to achieving the Millennium Development Goals. So we named Khushigram. We founded Khushigram as a part of 7-year series with India Habitat Center, which had IIT also as partner, IIT Patna, and a lot of eminent institutions and people who were speakers and partners, including ministers and planning commission members, all across the people from across the world, Mega SSA awardees and all. A lot of people from Bihar were also there, like Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, who have done excellent work, and a lot of bureaucrats and officers and secretaries of Government of India were also there. So Khushigram came as a solution, integrated solution to the problems. We need to have all good services and products that are basic at one place. We can't say that, okay, one place will have only 2 things or 3 things. So we need everything. We need clean air, water, food first, then habitat, good health, then education, and then livelihood. So all these are, and all these need to be correlated, because if for everything we have to do separate things, it's not possible, it's not sustainable, it's not done, and that is what is happening across the world. So we need to go back to this. And in fact, I have been privileged to speak to many presidents, prime ministers across the world, and many Nobel laureates, and a lot of prominent people through whom I learnt a lot. And all these came up as a solution. We need to ruralize. Instead of urbanization, we need to ruralize now. And this is the time we need to do it. This is the high time that we do it. So we need to ruralize. And in fact, we had an excellent discussion with late Sri Kofi Annan, who was the United Nations Secretary General, and Her Excellency Tarja Halonen was the President of Finland, and some few of the other head of states and governments. And they agreed and accepted that ruralization was the way, because in cities we have slums. In villages we don't have slums. We may have poor areas and tolas, but we don't have slums. We don't have nalas, just drains all around us. So whatever waste was formed in the villages, it used to convert into compost. It used to get dry in the sun, because we didn't have polythenes and all these wasteful packaging and all. So we need to see that whatever we have or require, the sources should be closest to us as far as possible. And then the best, we should produce the best. We should have organic food, as Vijay Prakash ji also said, that we should have organic food. And a lot of innovators are doing. I think Vipinji will also agree that a lot of people in the Northeast, they have done a lot of work in Northeast also. They produce excellent organic food. Sikkim is a full organic state. That is, and I requested Pawan Chamlingji when he was CM also of Sikkim, that why don't you handle other northeastern states and eastern states also like Bihar and help them become full organic states as you have done there. So this is basically, I think I must have spoken about 15 minutes or so. I didn't see the time. But I think I have covered almost all the things and we are ready to partner. Our website is khushigram.in. It's very simple and we have a Khushigram page also. People can connect, work together. We are looking for more partners. Our target is by 2030. Before 2030, India should be sustainable. We should achieve sustainable development goals before 2030 and we can do that. If we start well now, we have already started, but if we synergize well now, we can do it. And Bihar can, of course, lead it. Bihar, we can do it in 2029 also, if we come together. So let's come together and let's work towards the common goals that we have, all of us have discussed and all of us want from their hearts, whether they have spoken or not. But I know that in their hearts, everybody wants Bihar to be a developed state, happy, peaceful, with all the rivers and plants and trees and land and good produce and people staying back. So we come back to our state, we work there. So the environment should be created like that. So we all have to create it together. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Bihar Brains, Bihar Science Conference, Patna University, all the universities participants, our partners, co-panelists. Thanks a lot, Vibhuti ji. Thank you. I'm through.
Thank you, Ajit ji. You have covered many things. I can say that I can take excerpt from your talk that you talked about being happy and healthy. The project started Khushigram. People should have happiness in a heart. So for the happy and healthiness, you want to have people to adopt yoga, naturopathy, and many things that required for the society. You also talked about that there should be food processing R&D center in Bihar, and you are ready to go late. And you talked that Bihar Brains should lead this innovation and enterprise creation kind of organization. In that, all people from Bihar should come up together and to start something for the betterment of Bihar. So these are summing up your talk, and now the one session of giving own talk now cover up. We have covered up. Now we'll start in all the presentation. Few things are very common. The few things are very common that Bihar should start not from the standard model of a startup. Bipin ji has told that Bihar should start with the fisheries, food processing, tourism. These are the sectors where Bihar should lead. And Ajay ji also talked about the agriculture sector. He worked in agri-biotechnology in the university. And now he's also his IGatt is also focusing on agri-tech. So he talked about very good things about the vertical kind of planning, high-tech gardening, and solar cooking. So Sir Vijay Prakash sir has also talked about he's already doing something in the fisheries and all. So I would like to say something that these first in the sixth session will take around for few minutes. That the common things which you people have talked about, that fisheries, food processing, and tourism. I was in 2008 in IIT Mumbai. I came from South Korea that time, and Indian Institute of Fisheries is there in Mumbai. They organized meeting for me to start something in Bihar in the fisheries. They were from all the Indian Institute of Fisheries and also from IIT Mumbai. They talked that they wanted to start something in Bihar in the fisheries. I'm talking about in 10 years back. And there was 50 people, all the experts were there. And we also have come up from South Korea, and from Dr. Karthik Saha was there from from USA. That time we decided and discussed that let's start something in fishery because Bihar should be good in fisheries. But after 10 years also, I do not think so. Talks are going on. Talks are going on in different forums. Some people claims and say that we are doing something in the fisheries. Last year, government of Bihar started one project and that in fishery people, Bihar can give some fund to all the ponds. They just choose the pond and they Bihar government will give fund to the pond people who want to start something in the fishery in that pond. And so Bihar government started, but I don't think that the project is going very well. Though some people are claiming that they started doing well. I wanted to say something from Bihar on behalf of the National Innovation Foundation. That earlier also I saw that Dr. Adil Gupta's program when he came to Bihar in the third Bihar Science Conference. That time also he said, actually the list of the innovators from the National Innovation Foundation is more. But the thing is the same, which we already talked about, that prototyping is being done, but product is not commercialized. I will come on in this part later on, but I will ask first from Dr. Bipin Kumar ji, then all others, that if Bihar is good in fisheries and food processing and can be done in tourism, then what your organization NIF can do it for Bihar in fisheries, especially in fishery.
Thank you very much. Fishery is one area, in fact, where Bihar can do wonders, in fact, and lots of emphasis of the government and the local people are also there on fishery. But you have to understand one thing, that for any industry you have, or particularly the innovative industry, you need the three things. One is investment, one is appropriate policy, and another one is your enterprise, which would be the carrier to take it to the masses. If any of three is missing, then the things will not move ahead actually. So we have to focus on the right kind of policies, and probably at this time the government's policies are supportive, but here the investment, appropriate resources at appropriate times are required. Underfunding and overfunding for every project is not good, and might be entrepreneurs now coming ahead, and because of this policy of Bihar government, lots of people are willing to take it ahead actually. That is one thing. If some innovativeness, some innovative technologies, innovations are there related to fisheries in anything, whether it is in the processing, whether it is in food processing, whether it is in packaging, or whether it is in supply chain, by the common people, NIF is bound to help that actually. So NIF will extend all support. In fact, if any common person is doing any innovations in that area, and will definitely support to that actually.
Okay, thank you. Ajay ji, can you say something that you are talking about this sector? What you can do with for Bihar in agriculture technology, if you want to focus it on the fishery, you can focus it on. I want to say, ask from you that whole agriculture technology, what you want to give it to Bihar?
I think I came to Bihar 7 years ago. I visited, Upar Bizli, Niche Machli, Upar Bizli. So the Giriraj Singh, who was the minister that time, fishery and dairy minister, he took me there, a special invite to come over and see that what we are doing, and we can multiply that. So, and for that reason, I visited also Andhra Pradesh. I went to look at Machilipatnam area to see that how Bihar can be linked with those kind of approaches where they are working. And then we talked to the solar company, how they can work together. I think, a lot of these farmer is already enterprise. What is, I think, the problem is and which is a basically typical problem of Biharis. Okay, we are all smart people. Okay, we are the best knowledgeable people. We know everything possible in the world, and that happened in America also. So a lot of Biharis are in Bihar and Jharkhand Association, and there is a lot of knowledgeable. So where the common thread is there, that somehow we have to come on 21st century and look at the possibility how we can go back to the roots, okay, where we have started, where you had a small channel where we used to, take some fishes, by hand, and वो एक साइड में रोक देते थे, दूसरी साइड में लगा देते थे, और फिर वो पानी बहती थी, वो मछली पकड़ते थे. So I think what fishery industry has to come up, wherever the water is there, you can grow fish. Wherever water is there, you can grow makhana. So you can have whether you want to put a solar, or you can make a big, pillar, and have a multi layer of, processing building you can create. Whatever is, everything is possible, but the problem is basically that we plan very good, implementation wise very poor. This is a typical problem in Bihar. Okay, so whatever is National Innovation Foundation, we had a lot talk, Professor Gupta, we were together in Bangalore last November, and we talked together how these things are happening, because I was in one of his Sodh Yatra very early on, and one of the follower, because we are same ag biotech guys. Okay, so early on I know from Hisar, before even he moved to IM, and so we were talking always about Bihar. So I think Vijay ji is there, and I think Ajit is there, and Bipin ji is there, all these people, and so all of us are thinking on the same direction. The direction is, how do we put together the minds and make a pipeline? So one of the structure is there, that already Vijayji is there. He can find out that what are the fishery industry requires, and so pre-incubation. And I think Vipin ji is there, who can look after the National Innovation Foundation, how they can help. And Ajit ji is there, which is a national and international, everywhere in the government and funding organization knows. I am here, where we are looking at typically, um, you know, basically, confused Biharis are here, because they cannot go back, and they cannot do, on time job. So when the flood comes, they will come and, bring the money, and then there will be some, rice bag or some biscuit bag will go, and then finally they forget. Or so I think I'm just trying to give them pulse all the time. But bottom line is that Bihari has to develop the Bihar. Okay, outside people will come, but they will be getting frustrated very easily, because they will not understand the culture. They will not understand longer period of time. They can give a lecture and have a nice litti chokha in one anna mark, okay, with all the good, food and everything, but nothing will happen. And so reality is that if we can create a pipeline, all these 5 6 people we are here, and I think I've seen Pravat Ranjan ji is there also. Yes, yes. So he was the backbone of science and technology, and now he's heading the university. So all these minds can work together as a team and get a pipeline of fishery or food processing or any of these robotics and technology. Anything is happened to Bihar. Minds are there. Why not we create that system? So I'm looking for a system.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ajay ji. Vijay Prakash, sir, I would like to ask you that you talked about fisheries. Somebody started something in fisheries. So, what is your outcome? And can we, or he or we, take it lady to the other kind of extended kind of development in that area? Your voice is not, sir. Please unmute your voice, sir. Unmute your voice. Unmute your voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, thanks a lot, Bibhuti. You have raised a right question. Let's discuss fishery sector. And we heard Ajay ji and Bipin ji. Let me tell you a very interesting thing. Fishery was trapped in a politico-legal frame trap.
Sir,
What had happened was...
Can I interrupt you, sir?
Yeah.
You can add fishery along with makhana also, because...
Yeah, I will tell you. I will tell you fishery, makhana, and something more. Something more about what we can do with water bodies.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you very interesting things. Number one, let me tell you, the fishery sector per se was trapped in a very nice trap of politics and legal framework. जितने भी तालाब थे यहाँ पर, तालाब अनंत थे, मतलब तालाबों की दुनिया थी ये, और जल की दुनिया है, मतलब 1 million हेक्टेयर इज वाटरी बॉडी है. लेकिन सभी चीज को एक कर दिया गया कि ये मछुआरों के ही हाथ में रहेगा और एक मछुआ समिति के ही हाथ में रहेगा. मछुआरों के ही हाथ में भी नहीं, कोई मछुआरा अगर दूसरा चाहे कि अकेले ले लें तो नहीं होगा, ये मछुआरा समिति के हाथ में ही रहेगा, और उसको दे दिया गया. और रिजल्ट ये हुआ कि नोबडी इन्वेस्ट इन दैट. द एंटायर थिंग इज ट्रैप्ड. अब हाउ टू गेट आउट ऑफ इट. कुछ स्कीम्स अभी चले हैं, उसका अच्छा फायदा भी हुआ है. आई डोंट से, आई मीन इट्स अ गुड थिंग. अभी हम लोग वी वर प्रोड्यूसिंग अबाउट 2.5 million tons ऑफ फिशेस about 10 years ago. Today we are producing roughly 6 lakh tons of fishes every year. लेकिन this can go up to 20 lakh tons that I can perceive. So, but how will you do it? What you have to do is forget about the fishery that government is talking about. We can have commercial fish farms, bigger fish farms, commercial fish farms through biofloc systems, through RSC systems, and all those modern systems, modern fish producing farms, we can create outside those traditional farms. Traditional farms separate and modern farms separate. And this is what we are trying to do. We have started 100 fish farms, which is being done on modern technology lines. And there the fish production is much more. But what we are encountering now is, once you do this, I suppose this 100 now goes up to say 1,000. So 1,000 farms we are planning in a couple of years, we'll go up to 1,000 farms. Once we have 1,000 farms, then we can probably have an aggregate which can influence market. तब हमको 2 लाख 3 लाख टन हमारे पास होगा, जिसको कि हम मार्केट में ले जा सकते हैं. तो आपके पास एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड प्रोडक्शन सेंटर होगा जिसको जोड़ सकते हैं. अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, अब हम लोग कैसे कैसे बढ़ रहे हैं, तो बताते हैं. इसमें कई समस्याएं हैं. देयर आर सर्टेन पॉलिसी इश्यूज भी, आई विल टेल यू. वन पॉलिसी इशू इज, बिहार में लीजिंग इज नॉट अलाउड. लीजिंग को बहुत ही कॉस्टली बना के रखा है. अगर लीज आप लेते हैं जमीन का, तो वो मोर और लेस वो एक इसके समान ही पैसा लगता है, मतलब इसके बराबर पैसा लगता है, मतलब सेल के बराबर ही उसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन फी लग जाता है. तो दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट. हम लोगों को वी मस्ट हैव अ लीजिंग पॉलिसी इन दिस स्टेट, so that we can we can aggregate land for a bigger fish farm. This is number one. Number two, मार्केटिंग को देखिए. मार्केटिंग फिश कार्प की मार्केटिंग जो पूरे स्टेट में हो रही है, वो मैं कहता हूं जमीन पर होती है. जमीन पर एक प्लास्टिक लगा दिया जाता है और उस पर रख दिया जाता है. We have talked, one of the startups has started designing a cart जिसमें कि वो फिश को लेकर के बेचा सके, मॉडर्न ढंग से बेचा सके. And this gives a very big opportunity for modernizing the fish market. और अगर ये जा सकता है, मतलब अगर हम घर घर भेज सकते हैं आइसक्रीम को, तो मछली घर घर क्यों नहीं ठेला में भेज सकते हैं. ठेला हो सकता है. आजकल बहुत सारे जो ये आ गए हैं, बैटरी ऑपरेटेड गाड़ियां आ गई हैं. वी कैन यूज एनीथिंग एंड वी कैन सेंड इट. तो सम स्टार्टअप्स आर वर्किंग ऑन मॉडर्नाइजिंग दिस होल फिश मार्केट. So once you have, and then there are many issues like we one of the major strength in our fishes is mangur mach. Mangur mach बिहार का, not those Thai mangur. Thai mangur is Ayog. लेकिन हमारा जो देसी मांगूर है, this is a medicinal fish. लेकिन उसको मेडिसिनल फिश की तरह हमने बेचा नहीं आज तक. अगर हम मेडिसिनल फिश की तरह बेचने लगे तो इसका दाम बहुत ज्यादा मिलेगा, हमको बेचना चाहिए. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है, अभी तक मांगूर माछ का की जो ब्रीडिंग होती है वो नेचुरल वे में ही होती है, इसकी ब्रीडिंग नहीं हो रही है लैब में, और हम लोग इसकी ब्रीडिंग का टेक्निक प्रॉपर्ली डेवलप नहीं कर पाए हैं। हम लोगों ने कहा है इसको एनिमल साइंस यूनिवर्सिटी को कि इस पर काम करे, और किशनगंज में उन्होंने काम शुरू किया है। लेकिन वंस वी डू दिस, तो हम मांगूर माछ को ही हम लोग एक बहुत बड़ा मार्केट में हम लोग लॉन्च कर सकते हैं। तो हमको बहुत सारे इश्यूज पर 1 by 1 काम करने की जरूरत होगी। दिस इज अबाउट फिश। मैं अभी एक दो और रिलेटेड बात आपको करना चाहूंगा। यही चीज संभव है आपको गोट में, यही चीज संभव है आपको ऑर्गेनिक फार्म में। आप एग्रीगेट कीजिए, बड़े बड़े फार्म बनाइए, छोटा फार्म नहीं चलेगा। अगर आप चाहते हैं बड़े मार्केट को अप्रोच करना तो एग्रीगेट कीजिए, छोटे। अब इसके टेक्निक्स बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं, हम फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर ग्रुप बना सकते हैं हम लोग, मैं उसके अभी टेक्निक्स पर उतना नहीं कहूंगा। तो आप फार्मर साइड में एग्रीगेट कर सकते हैं, लैंड साइड में एग्रीगेट कर सकते हैं, लीज के थ्रू एग्रीगेट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन एग्रीगेट कीजिए, बड़ा फार्म बनाइए और बड़ा फार्म चलाइए। वो एंटरप्रेन्योर से चलेगा, वो बड़े एंटरप्रेन्योर से चलेगा, बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए उसमें, और हम लोग कर सकते हैं। तीसरी चीज जो मैं आपको चाहता हूं कि यहाँ पर, क्योंकि सभी लोग साइंस के हैं, मैं एक बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी बिहार के बारे में बताना चाहता हूं। वो है कोसी का सैंड, कोसी सिल्ट। हम लोगों ने इसको वेस्ट समझ रखा है अभी तक। इतिहास में हम लोगों ने इसको सोख समझ रखा कि ये पानी आएगा, पानी भी सोख है, और ये तो है ही सौरो है ही, जो बालू है। हम लोगों ने बालू को एनालाइज करवाया। प्रभात रंजन जी उस समय में टाइफेक में थे, वी बोथ वर्क टुगेदर, और हम लोगों ने इंगेज किया डिफरेंट लैब्स को। नेशनल केमिकल एंड सेरामिक्स लैब है वहां का, कलकत्ता का, दे वेर इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दिस एंड दे केम आउट विथ ब्यूटीफुल फाइंडिंग्स। और ये आप सबों के माध्यम से मैं सभी एंटरप्रेन्योर को बताना चाहता हूं कि दिस इज अ बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी। उन्होंने ये पाया कि जितने भी सेरामिक प्रोडक्ट हैं हम लोग का, जो अगर कोसी का अगर अपर रीचेस लीजिएगा, मतलब बीरपुर के पास का, हम लोगों ने 50-50 किलोमीटर पर उसको स्टडी करवाया था। वो उतना डिटेल स्टडी नहीं था, दिस वाज जस्ट प्रिलिमिनरी स्टडी। और उसमें ये पाया गया कि ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ सेरामिक प्रोडक्ट्स जो हम बनाते हैं अभी, जो घर में यूज करते हैं, सारा बन सकता है वहां पर। उससे ये बन सकता है, ईंट बन सकती है, उससे ये बन सकता है, मतलब जो ग्लू बन सकता है जो कि यूज करते हैं लोग पाइप वगैरह को डालने में, माइन इरिगेशन में। तो बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स बन सकते हैं उस सिल्ट के। दैट सिल्ट विच इज अ वेस्ट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ वेल्थ, बड़ा वेल्थ, जो इनोवेशन का आपका पूरी दिशा बदल सकता है, बिहार की दशा बदल सकता है, सिर्फ अगर हम लोग सिल्ट पर काम करें। और इसके रिसर्च फाइंडिंग्स, प्रिलिमिनरी रिसर्च फाइंडिंग्स अवेलेबल है। मैं उसके बाद एक 25 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट भी सैंक्शन करवाया था इन लोगों से, यूएनडीपी से, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरा ट्रांसफर हो गया, तो फिर दे डिड नॉट परस्यू। पैसा तो आया, लेकिन पता नहीं क्या हो गया, मतलब आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई कुड गेट द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट जो मैं चाहता था वो नहीं हो पाया। मैं चाहता था उसको कॉमर्शलाइज करना, ऐसे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बुला करके उन लोगों को लगाते हम लोग, और बिहार में वही फैक्ट्री सब लगती जो कि राजस्थान से जो हम लाते हैं अभी, या दूसरे स्टेट से लाते हैं। तो यहाँ का सैंड, इफ यू स्पेशलाइज ऑन बिहार सैंड्स, आई विल टेल यू कि ये सभी सैंड पर वही मोरलेस फॉर्मूला लगेगा। और सिल्ट पर आप स्पेशलाइज कर जाइएगा तो और आपको ये बता दूं गवर्नमेंट के साइड में क्या प्रॉब्लम है इसमें। दिस इज अ बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी जो कि हम लोग सब मिस कर रहे हैं। गवर्नमेंट उसको एज अ सैंड, मतलब जिस तरह से आपको क्यूल का सैंड बिकता है, जिस तरह से आपको सोन का सैंड बिकता है, उसी तरह से कोसी का वो सिल्ट भी बिक रहा है। देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन दीज सैंड्स एंड दो सिल्ट्स। तो वो सिल्ट भी, और उस सिल्ट के नीचे अगर आ जाइएगा, मैं समझता हूं एनआईएफ के लिए भी बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है ये। उसके नीचे आ जाने पर वी फाउंड कि उसमें पोटास होता है उसके पानी में, और उस सैंड को यूज कर सकते हैं आप, इसके लिए सॉइल मॉडिफिकेशन के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। तो मैंने कहा था इन लोगों को, जो कंसर्न डिपार्टमेंट थे माइंस के, कि वो पूरा सर्वे करवा लीजिए, और सर्वे करवा कर उसको डिटेल सर्वे करवाना होगा माइंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, कहां पर क्या है क्या नहीं है। और फिर तब आप ये एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बुलाइए, और उनको जो पैसा आप बालू को शायद 5 रुपए कह के ले रहे हैं, वो 500 रुपए मिलेगा अगर आपको मिनरल हो जाएगा। तो दिस इज द बिगेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट वी हैव। यही प्रॉब्लम आपको वहां पर भी है, मालदा में भी है, मालदा और साहबगंज में भी है, कटिहार में है, जहां पर की सिल्ट है। सभी सिल्ट का एनालिसिस अगर हम लोग कर पाए कहीं पर, और उससे कुछ निकाल पाए, तो ये एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम फिशेस, मैं समझता हूं पानी के साथ बालू को भी जोड़ लीजिए, पानी के साथ ये जो गाद को भी जोड़िए। ये आपको पता नहीं, मुझको एक फिगर था मेरे पास, करीब 1 लाख टन आता है उगाद। अब समझ लीजिए कि आपका कितना बड़ा रिसोर्स है, और ये इतनी बड़ी समस्या है कि वो गाद जमा होते होते वो रिवर का बेड करीब करीब 15-16 फीट ऊंचा चला गया है बाहर के इससे लैंड से, और पानी और उससे ऊपर चला गया। आप समझ सकते हैं कि क्या स्थिति होगी। जिस रोज बांध टूटेगा उस रोज फिर प्रलय आएगा, जिससे आया था 2008। तो हमारे लिए हमको शायद कई अपॉर्चुनिटीज इससे है जुड़ा हुआ जो कि हम लोग कर सकते हैं। लेकिन एक मैं चीज से समाप्त करना चाहूंगा, 2 बातें। सेक्टर अप्रोच रखने की जरूरत है एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट में, नॉट इंडिविजुअल अप्रोच। इंडिविजुअल अप्रोच में एग्रीकल्चर वगैरह में बड़ी कठिनाई होती है। आप अगर फिशरी को लेते हैं, फिशरी इज अ बिग सेक्टर, वी कैन वर्क। इसमें और बहुत सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं जिसको कि मैं अभी नहीं जोड़ रहा हूं। नंबर 2, सभी के लिए जितने इकोसिस्टम के प्लेयर्स हैं, जितने स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, दे हैव टू बी ब्रॉट टुगेदर ऑन वन प्लेटफॉर्म। वो बहुत ही क्रूशियल है, क्योंकि वो एक यहाँ देखिए, जहां पर कल्चर होता है किसी चीज का डेवलप हो जाता है। सपोज कि हम गुजरात जाते हैं, वहां पर खोजिएगा तो फाइनेंस वाला भी आदमी बगल ही मिल जाएगा, आपके घर के बगल में ही होगा। यहाँ पर अगर इन्वेस्ट करना होगा तो अब हमको खोजना होगा कि अजय जी कहीं पकड़ेंगे अमेरिका में, किसी को ले आएंगे जो अभी कह रहे हैं कि हम लोग को जितने बिहारी डायस्पोरा है, दे मस्ट कम टुगेदर, कि अगर इन सब चीजों में इंटरेस्ट उनका होगा तो शायद हम लोग कर पाएंगे। हम इस डायस्पोरा को कैसे जोड़ें? आई एम विलिंग टू वॉलंटियर कि हम लोग प्लेटफॉर्म बना सकते हैं। बिहार विद्यापीठ और अटल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर ये बन सकता है प्लेटफॉर्म जहाँ की आए, और मैं पकड़ के कुछ लोगों को लाया भी हूँ जो लोग इसमें फंडिंग करने के लिए तैयार भी हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि इस डायस्पोरा को यूज करना रियली एक अच्छी पहल है। लेकिन इस तरह का सेक्टर वाइज इफ यू डिस्कस, देन वी कैन लिस्ट कि किस सेक्टर में क्या क्या संभावनाएं हैं और कहाँ पर है, और कहाँ कैसे हम लोग रुके हुए हैं। थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट।
हाँ सर, थैंक यू सर। आपने कुछ बातें कही अभी कि जो कोसी की जो समस्या है, लोगों ने उस कोसी को समस्या बनाया हुआ है। आपने कहा कि गाद जो सीट निकलता है उसका यूज कर सकते हैं हम लोग। आप ये कहा कि गाद की जो समस्या है, कई बार गाद की समस्या पर तो मुख्यमंत्री ने भी कई बार बात उठाई है हर जगह कि गाद की समस्या है, उसके कारण रिवर का ऊपर फ्लो हो जा रहा है। खैर, इस पर हम फिलहाल नहीं जाएंगे क्योंकि मेरा वो विषय नहीं है उसका। आई वॉन्ट टू टेल समथिंग that you talked that one forum should be there where all people should come up and discuss, sector wise discussion should be held. So I'm taking this lead in the regular way, a month and 15 days we'll start this discussion on the sector wise discussion. Will start. I will call every expert in this forum under the Bihar Brains, where all the brains of Bihar and others people from all around the world, not only Biharis, but other people from different countries also, will be talking and discussing on this kind of topic. Now, I will be coming again to Ajay, Ajit ji. Are you there, Ajit ji? Yeah.
Yes.
अजय जी, आपने अभी कहा था कि जो गांव की समस्या है हैप्पी एंड हेल्दी का, अभी मैं फिशरिंग पर ही डिस्कस कर रहा हूं, तो आप कैसे, हाउ कैन यू रिलेट दैट हैप्पी विलेज थ्रू द फिशरीज एंड हाउ यू व्हाट यू कैन डू इट फ्रॉम योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन बिहार?
एक मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ, फिशरीज पे बहुत बोला जा चुका है, काफी लोगों ने बोला है, तो मैं और उस पर हम ज्यादा काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो उस पर हम ज्यादा नहीं बोलेंगे। लेकिन रिलेटेड एक और आपने बात कही थी जिस पे ज्यादा नहीं बोले लोग अभी, वो है मखाना। आपने कहा था तो मखाना पे हम बहुत बोलेंगे क्योंकि मखाना हमारा फेवरेट भी, और यहाँ बैठे सब लोग का बहुत फेवरेट होगा, और हेल्दीएस्ट, वन ऑफ द हेल्दीएस्ट फूड है आजकल पूरे वर्ल्ड में। सुपर फूड के रूप में उसको बहुत प्रमोट किया जा रहा है, मार्केट किया जा रहा है। और अब मखाना में टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसा आया है जिसमें कि आपको पॉन्ड की जरूरत नहीं है, तालाब की जरूरत नहीं है, आप कम पानी में भी मखाना उगा सकते हैं। तो क्यों ना हम बिहार को, क्योंकि बिहार के ही में मखाना तो बिहार का ही वर्ल्ड फेमस है, तो क्यों ना बिहार के हम और जगहों पे भी मखाना उगाएं, उसको इंटीग्रेट करें। फिशरीज में लोग इतना काम कर ही रहे हैं, साथ में ये मखाना अगर ऐड हो जाएगा तो फार्मर्स का इनकम काफी बढ़ जाएगा। और ये चूंकि सुपर फूड है तो सिर्फ मखाना को रॉ नहीं बेचें, मखाना को थोड़ा प्रोसेस भी करें, उसको थोड़ा नमकीन बना दें या मीठा बना दें, कुछ प्रोसेस करके बेचें। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि प्रोसेस करने से वैल्यू एडिशन बहुत हो जाता है और रेवेन्यू बहुत हो जाता है, और कई सारे महिलाएं या कई सारे लोगों को रोजगार मिल जाता है। तो हमें रोजगार बिहार से, अगर हम ठीक से काम करें कि 4-5 साल में कोशिश करें कि बिहार के बाहर किसी को सिर्फ सिंपल नौकरी के लिए ना जाना पड़े, स्पेशलाइज्ड
Yes.
अगर ट्रेनिंग है या कुछ जाना पड़े, तो वो पार्ट मैं कहना चाहूंगा, मखाना वाला पार्ट। दूसरा, क्योंकि फिशरीज की आपने बात की तो मैं फूड के दूसरे पार्ट्स की भी बात कर लेता हूँ, क्योंकि उस पर ज्यादा बात नहीं हुई, फिशरीज पे तो बात हुई है। दूसरे जो ऑर्गेनिक फूड है उस पर हम लोग बहुत एग्रेसिवली काम कर रहे हैं और इंटीग्रेशन का ही काम कर रहे हैं। तो कहाँ पे क्या हब्स बन सकता है, और कभी भी ऑर्गेनिक या फूड या फार्मिंग की जब आप बात करेंगे सही ढंग से इंटीग्रेशन की, तो उसका फार्म का सबसे बड़ा वर्कर होता है, हमें जान लेना चाहिए, वो है लोकल केचुआ, लोकल अर्थवर्म्स। दे आर द मतलब मोस्ट हार्डिएस्ट वर्कर ऑन द फार्म्स। किसान तो करता है बट फार्मर तो हाथ से जब हम फार्मिंग करेंगे, हमारे पास लोग बहुत हैं, सरप्लस है, हमें मशीनों की बहुत जरूरत नहीं है बिहार में एटलीस्ट। तो इतने सारे लोगों को रोजगार मिलेगा और हम उनको अच्छा पे भी कर पाएंगे अगर हम उसको हम करें शुद्ध ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की जो बात कर रहे हैं। जैसे मैं कोई भी खाना खाता हूं ऑर्गेनिक, तो मैं ये चेक करता हूं कि इस पे मशीन तो नहीं चला है, क्योंकि मशीन जो स्पीड को हॉट कर देता है, स्लो एंड कूल, कोल्ड प्रेस बोलते हैं ना आजकल, तो कोल्ड प्रेस और स्लो जो कुक्ड फूड है वो हमेशा हेल्दीएस्ट होता है, बेस्ट होता है। और यही हमारा नेचर भी था, सिस्टम भी था, इसीलिए हम लोग सन को, सूर्य को बहुत इस्तेमाल करते थे। तो एक अभी एनवायरमेंट मिनिस्ट्री की बहुत अच्छी रिपोर्ट भी इस पे आई थी, बहुत स्पेशल रिपोर्ट थी, वो सबको देखना चाहिए कि भारत कैसे ट्रेडिशनल और सस्टेनेबल टेक्नोलॉजीज भारत के पास थी, तो उसको हम यूज करें तो बहुत हम लोग आगे जाएंगे। मिट्टी के बर्तन, आपने एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, मैं एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ। मिट्टी के बर्तन बिहार में बहुत थे पहले, हम लोग बचपन में बहुत खाते थे, बहुत यूनिक है। 95 से ज्यादा परसेंट, 98-99% उसमें न्यूट्रिशन होता है। एल्यूमिनियम में 15-20 होता है, स्टील में 60-70 होता है, पीतल और तांबा उमा में 80-90 होता है, बट मिट्टी में सबसे ज्यादा होता है। तो क्यों ना मिट्टी में हम फिर से पकाना शुरू करें, खाना शुरू करें। लाइफ को हम थोड़ा स्लो क्यों ना करें, स्लो तो करना पड़ेगा, नेचर जबरदस्ती करवाएगा, डिजास्टर्स आएगा, गाद है या सिल्ट है जिस कारण से कोसी का फ्लड और बढ़ेगा, भूकंप और आएंगे, प्रलय और आएगा। कोरोना एक बहुत छोटा पार्ट है, हम 15-20 साल पहले बोला था कि डिजीजेज एंड डिजास्टर्स आर गोइंग टू फॉलो। जब बॉम्बे का, आपको याद है एक बार बॉम्बे का हुआ था, काफी लोगों की बहुत सारी चीजें, मतलब पूरे बाढ़ में लोग रह गए थे बहुत दिनों तक। तो ये नेचुरल है, क्योंकि हमने समुंदर पे कब्जा कर लिया, हमने नदी को के अंदर घुस गए, हम पहाड़ को काट दिए। तो इसके साथ हमको बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा। बैलेंस करने से बहुत फायदा है, वहां से भी इनकम है, पहाड़ों से हम इको टूरिज्म, बहुत सारे तरह का इनकम होता है। वहाँ हर्ब्स होते हैं, मेडिसिनल हर्ब्स, जितना अच्छा पहाड़ होगा उतना बढ़िया मेडिसिनल हर्ब्स होगा, तो उसको हमको टैप करना चाहिए। मेडिसिनल हर्ब्स को हमें प्रोसेस करना चाहिए, सिर्फ हम हर्ब सिंपल ना बेचें, हम उससे दवाई बना के बेचें। आयुर्वेद के कॉलेजेस भी बिहार में है, राजकीय आयुर्वेद कॉलेज पटना में भी है। और अब आयुष एक बहुत तेजी से उभर रहा है। अजय जी बताएंगे कि यूएस में भी अब लोग, मैंने सुना है कई सारे दोस्तों ने बोला कि हल्दी को पानी, हल्दी पानी बिकने लगा है, शायद दूध में भी हल्दी अब लोग मिला के बेच रहे हैं, या दूध पाउडर में, इस तरह के। तो इस तरह की चीजों पे फोकस अगर हम करें ना, तो हम तुरंत टॉप हो जाएंगे। अगर हम फॉलो करेंगे सिर्फ वेस्ट को, फिशरीज का एक चीज है कि फिशरीज बहुत कॉमन चीज है पूरे वर्ल्ड में, सब जगह कर रहे हैं लोग, लेकिन मखाना तो बिहार में ही है। उस तरह से बहुत सारी चीजें सिर्फ बिहार में ही या बिहार में विशेष है, उस पर बहुत ध्यान देंगे। फिशरीज भी करें, फिशरीज को मैं मना नहीं करें, फिशरीज करें क्योंकि वो भी अच्छा है, अपना करें, उससे
ठीक
भी
है
इनकम होता है। और ठीक है,
अजीत जी,
बट
थोड़ा सा इंटरप्ट करेंगे अब।
श्योर
आ,
श्योर,
हमारे पास आधे घंटे का समय है और नेक्स्ट एक सेशन लेना है, फिर लोगों से भी कुछ लेने हैं उनके फीडबैक।
धन्यवाद।
आपने कहा कि मखाना को भी फोकस करना है, वी शुड फोकस मखाना आल्सो, एंड दैट इज गुड बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी टॉक्ड अर्लियर that these things should be covered Bihar in addition to the traditional kind of innovation and enterprise creation. Now I am coming to the sector called the traditional kind of innovation. One major focus, one problem is there in Bihar. I already discussed in my introduction that people here in Bihar can go for the prototyping. They can go for prototyping, but let next stage is manufacturing and marketing and funding. What I found here in Bihar after 10 years of my here in Bihar, stay in Bihar, uh, that people have ideas, but to sustain the idea they don't have the resources. Now they have resource, internet resources they have, but they don't know how to implement it. So they have the idea, they don't know how to implement it. The second is someone, if they want to implement, they have implemented also. Suppose some person have implemented also one product, they cannot go into the market. They cannot have the ability to manufacture. And third, that they don't have a fund to manufacture. They are not a single, there are very few funding agency who are funding in the state of Bihar because they don't have a trust in Bihar. They don't have the people trust in Bihari people. Not, I'm not saying the negative way. I'm just saying because they feel that their product will not be good. I won't take much example, but I would just say that these are the problems in from people of Bihar or innovate in incubati of Bihar. Not a incubators of all. I just say the whatever incubators are there in Bihar, all are facing the same problems, means under which there are many companies, but companies are failing in that part in getting funding and also getting in different sectors. So I would like to ask, starting from one quick 5 minutes of quick reaction, that how we can achieve in that section getting funding for the people incubate from Bihar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bipinji, yeah.
So, yeah. So first of all, Vibhuti ji, please allow me to disagree with you that people do not have faith in Bihar and Bihari people. In fact, it would not be fair. I do have lots of friends, in fact, and I do have faith in them actually.
Oh, sorry, that's my height of saying that. But,
That's fine actually. Please don't record it actually.
Mhm.
See, the thing is, when we do have an idea or an innovation, immediately we want to jump to the commercialization of it. But we have to understand at what readiness level the technology is there. So most of the time, the innovations, even in engineering college, are at TRL 3 or TRL 4 or maximum at TRL 5. So कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी TRL 5 की मार्केट में नहीं जा सकती. Take it from me. We have to have the strategy to convert the TRL 5 to TRL 8 or TRL 9 at least. Then there are lots of investment and lots of agencies, including the technology business incubator, which are in Bihar and which are outside of Bihar. In fact, they can also fund and invest in those technologies. Many times, if you listen the venture capitalists or angel investors or lots of funding agencies, problem is not from Bihar but from throughout country. Whatever technology and whatever business plan they do have, they are not worthy. In fact, so that is also, you see the another side of that. In NIF, we have commercialized many technologies. Failures are many, but successes are also there. ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज की बात हुई यहाँ पे. ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज बेस्ड इनफैक्ट मैक्सिमम स्ट्रगल वाज डन बाय अस. इनफैक्ट many times we were saying that okay, haldi is good, this plant is good, that plant is good, but nobody is going to buy that plant. In fact, so with ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, we have set up a task force. A special task force was there, and 3 years it took to finalize the protocol of the testing. एलोपैथिक वे में हम जा रहे हैं, आयुर्वेदिक काम हर्बल काम नहीं कर रहा है. फिर उसमें अगर कुछ डाटा जनरेट भी कर लिया तो दैट डाटा इज यूजलेस. इनफैक्ट फाइनली किसी वे से तो उसको मार्केट तक ले. सो वी अंडरस्टूड एंड वी हैव फाइनलाइज्ड द प्रोटोकॉल एटलीस्ट फॉर फ्यू डिजीजेस through which we can screen the large number of herbs, in fact, for those kind of things, which are very well accepted by Indian Council of Medical Research also. वो एक्सरसाइज की बाकी चीजों में भी, लाइक इंजीनियरिंग टेक्नोलॉजी में विद INE, विद CSR, विद IITs, lots of task force for different components we made, and whatever expertise NIF is having, in fact, please utilize those things. We are always there to provide you those sort of protocols, but we have to understand it clearly. Market need the product which is having some advantage over the existing product available in the market. So a good technology and good business plan, if it is there, then nobody can stop it. So यहाँ पे investment हमें जो करना है वो we have to do in the technical skill of the people also. They are knowledgeable people, they are very intelligent, but जो required technical skill है उसके अंदर थोड़े investment की आवश्यकता है. So let us do it systematically, and whatever expertise we all are having, let us sit together 1 or 2 days workshop and let us streamline this process. And take it from me, investors are many, the incubators are many, and lots of people will get the support out of it. If people can get in Odisha, why not in Bihar actually? If people can get in West Bengal, why not in Bihar? So everywhere the opportunities and good things are there. Only thing we have to do the streamlining, and it is not the problem of Bihar, it is the problem of India actually. So we are bit diffused. धीरे धीरे streamline हो रहे हैं, but थोड़े better pace से हो जाए, that could have been better actually.
Thank you, sir. One thing that you were saying, this is the common problem और पूरे इंडिया का ये प्रॉब्लम है, और प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट के हिसाब से अगर लॉन्च किया जाए और मार्केटिंग उसकी अच्छी की जाए तो प्रोडक्ट बनती है और प्रोडक्ट बिकती भी है. और एक बात मैं ऐड कर दूं कि समटाइम्स मुझे लगता है कि प्रोडक्ट का बिकना या ना बिकना मार्केट के मूड पर भी डिपेंड भी करता है, टाइम पर भी डिपेंड करता है. समटाइम्स अच्छा प्रोडक्ट भी होता है तो नहीं बिकता है. अब मैं आता हूँ अजय जी के पास. मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ अजय जी, you are funding many companies across the India and the world. You talked that 12 companies you have already selected in India, and perhaps few companies also you have also selected in Bihar. I don't know if I'm right. What is your plan? Like, how can you go for selecting people in Bihar? How can you bring funds for Bihar in different sectors? Because you're talking about you Biharis are across the globe. You are just talking about something, doing something, but not doing. And people, Bihari diaspora people are just talking but not doing. But you are some of them, few of them perhaps, who are not talking only, who are doing something. So, what you have something in Bihar for Bihar?
I'm agreeing with Vipinji. One thing is that, there's a lot of possibility exist in Bihar. Okay. Only the issue is there is a kind of a mismatch we have in India. Somehow it's a government-run business. Business has to run by business. Okay. So that is a confusing affair. And so I will not blame anybody, but I think this is one of the situation that people get somehow confused that where what is happening. I was in Ahmedabad, okay, and I have looked at hundreds of incubation and innovation. I went for India, went to 6, 7 city, including Ahmedabad. I came to IIM and somebody is copying some million cup and he's doing some business. I am Ahmedabad student and trying to do this. I think India has to get out of this of what exists to copy that. Okay. This is not the right way. This is one, and this is a copying also in incubation space. So there is some kind of a mistrust and confusion which exists, okay, and that we have to understand. Second problem is that prototype design is a very hard job, okay, and sometimes people think that they have an idea and there is a jugaad system, let's do it, okay, and it is not. From even the jugaad system come and refine a product, then you have to look at the entire raw material and the supply chain and the cost, and then jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, usability and how the consumer is taking advantage. That system doesn't exist. And I see this because I'm talking about the pinnacle. I am Ahmedabad and looking at the IIT Mumbai and IIT Delhi. I had been always chatting with Dr. Rao in IIT Delhi director, and we every time I get the new prototype, because I'm looking for Indian technology, how it can be commercialized much more faster and better way. And some eureka moment, if somebody can be a Tesla guy and somebody can be Apple, Steve Jobs, or maybe Amazon. We are always looking because Bansal brothers were there. They have done this. I think one of the important stuff of the commercialization is, and the money to come, is basically to have a test at earlier stage, which we call the prototype testing and the market testing. Some kind of a fundamental approach of the patenting in India where they can validate that early on. And I think the validation is lacking in all across the board, all over India. Incubation and whatever acceleration is, the validation lacking because not they don't know how to do it. The expertise doesn't exist. This is one. And second is the global level of designing this. I was working with Israel as a startup nation. I have done like 40 of the companies joint venture between India and Israel. And every time we were looking for why certain kind of technology which exists in Mumbai or Pune, why I'm getting from Israel, why this is not the next level it happened, because they have invested the money all the way and get to the marketplace, where the Indian company, they didn't get enough mentorship around, because we don't have ecosystem like this for everything exists. So what INOP can do, which is we are looking for any of the companies. So like the Makhana, Mithila Makhana, which is basically doing a value added and lot of new innovative product. So that got our interest, that let's get this person. So we are trying to get to them, getting a branded, getting it, marketing a product where it will come as a breakfast meal of Makhana. We will also add as a blending so that the people can do as a trail mix, as a nutrition mix. So we are trying to do also design that, which is basically we are using the local food and nutrition people to be associated with us. So this is a one way to take the company further. Investment is always there, as Bipin also mentioned that, and I'm also mentioning the money is there because investor is looking. I also invest, small invest. I have a 6 or 7 Colorado company. I have a small equity share, 1%, 2%, 3%. But I take early on where I find there is a lot of possibility exists. And I don't find in India, I have around 30 company. I was trying to say, I haven't find one company where you can take it to the next level. So I think some of the training of youth early on, and that's why I launched Youth Lab, because there we do the entire process of pre-incubation, incubation, and the access market. So we do a typical boot camp, 2 months boot camp. We do it right now, where we have already launched 6 companies in India now, and those are all. There is a fitness company, there is a food company, there's another company which is doing a small Amazon version in the local company, and then one is doing the water testing system they are developing. So I think the people are there. These are the student I'm talking. They are commerce student, they are art student, there are engineering college student. So there is a lot of possibility exist. So we will continue working, and I'm looking forward from NIF India or maybe Vidyapit in Bihar to collaborate and provide those education of the boot camp, because that is not available in India within 2 months from venture to market you do. That is a validation. So that approach we can bring, and we can bring also fund. If it is a real product exists, then commercial funding is available.
Okay. So we'll discuss it later on about the real product and all. Now we have only 10 minutes time left. Uh, uh,
I
I
have
will,
one thing, in fact, I have
yeah,
to take leave, in fact, as I have to go to another meeting, in fact.
yeah,
Yes,
that's right. That's right. Only,
here.
only,
Please.
only, yeah, 10 minutes more. So I will ask from any question from me, from the audience you have? Any question? Okay. So there is no question, I think. So Prabhat Ranjan sir is there? Prabhat Ranjan sir? Are you there, sir?
I don't have any question. I'm just listening.
Okay.
He has the
Okay.
answers.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, with this very good 2.5 hours of discussion, I'm now going to conclude with this target that this discussion will be continued for every month. Now I will lead this Bihar Brains forum for discussion for the discussion on incubation and enterprising sector by sector, as Vijay sir has suggested. For every month, maybe one or two discussion will be held, and we will be inviting experts from academia, from industries, and from the particular sectors, and the students and the incubators and incubatees will be part of this discussion. Second thing that we talked and found that we are not doing many things, but something now in Bihar also started. Like sir, Vijay sir has told that fishery they started something. Government of Bihar has started giving some funds to the ponds and all. But I don't think they have streamlined a good way, because I also have very good pond and 4 acres in Sitamarhi district. That land is missing without any any fund, any financial help and all. We
I
are
will tell you
able to.
something.
Yes, sir.
Bibhuti ji, there is one problem. You might have 4 acres of land, but you cannot take loan against that land, because that land title is not in favor of you, but maybe in favor of the entire family. So once you go to the bank, they will ask for land in favor of the person who is going to take. That becomes a crucial factor in Bihar. And land title is not very clear. We have to do a lot of work on clearing. Then only these sectors will develop.
Yes.
Agriculture is locked in
Right.
in a land state. We are not. They are not easily mortgageable. That is a crucial miss that we have to work on.
Yeah, you told me. You have already discussed that leasing policy of government of Bihar should be good, so that people should come up with this, giving land to the businessman who can do business with the fishery and all.
No,
So,
even in the family, even in the family.
Even the family, yeah.
Suppose you want to take loan, you will have to take permission from the entire family. You may have 40 stakeholders in that. That is the question. You will have to bring some legislation for that. That is a
Proper division and
yes,
checkbandi is not
something
there.
government
You
has
are right
done.
in saying.
We'll discuss that. That is just one thing separately we can discuss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, with this, I just say that these things should be discussed here in this forum. In every quarters, maybe once or twice in a month, we will call this kind of meeting, and we will discuss all the problems. But in this forum, we'll bring funds also, sir, because I know that few companies is doing very well. They have a product. I myself also am saying that we have a product, but we are not selling to the market. We cannot sell into the market because of the two problems. One is the funding, that is very crucial, and the second is that market. That people can be technically good, but they cannot market in the. They don't have the ability to market. So that kind of resources, that kind of help required from all across the world to the people of Bihar, so that here's ecosystem should grow. Many people say that we are expert, but actually what happens here, people say we are expert, but we don't know how to go a step further. So we want to get help from you and people of Bihar, people incubators of Bihar, incubatees of Bihar, should get help from you kind of people from sitting across the globe, so that what kind of help required in technical implementation first, help required in marketing second, help required in manufacturing ability third. So all the kind of ecosystem which comes under the startup ecosystem. So complete startup ecosystem requires help from you people. I hope all people will come again in this forum. I will invite in every 15-20 days, in once or twice in a month. Thank you, all of you who have joined this first discussion. Yes, sir. You want to say something else, sir?
No. I said that INOP and Youth Lab, we do a regular webinar. We also do educational program. So anybody can join that, and we'll send you that information as well.
So we'll collect
Ajay ji,
whenever
please
you join
share it with us.
Yes, yes.
Please
whenever
share
you
it with
start
us.
the
We can.
webinar,
Yeah, thank you.
when we start the webinar, you send us the complete link. We'll also forward it to our known people, and they will also join if they require.
Yeah, sure.
Bibhuti ji, just
We'll
one
do
point. Bibhuti ji,
Yeah.
just one point. We have an ecosystem of CXOs, CXOs of leading companies who are working with us in creating entrepreneurs and helping them in the ecosystem. So for technical things, for financing, and for marketing, all these. So you can ask them to connect to us. We'll connect to them. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you, for joining this first panel discussion on innovation and enterprise creation on behalf of the organizing committee of 8th Bihar Science Conference 2019. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ram.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting you. All
Thank
of
you.
us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.